Health is one of the most important factors to address during PvP, as when those 10 little hearts run out, you're not going to be able to fight for much longer. The first thing we need to take account of while thinking of health is damage other players can do to us. The player or team you're facing could be using their fist, a melee weapon, a bow, potion, TNT or fire. Players will use their fist if it's the only option, but it deals only half a heart of damage, so an opponent who just has a fist should be no challenge to defeat if you have any sort of weapon. Melee weapons are the most commonly used weapon in Minecraft PvP maps, and you can easily work out how much damage a player is able to do to you by seeing what material his weapon is made out of and what tool it is. Among the swords from worst to best, the weakest swords are wood and gold, then stone, then iron, then diamond, but other tools don't apply to this material rule, as a diamond axe does less damage than a diamond sword. Axes do the same damage as the last material class. For example, a diamond axe does the same damage as an iron sword. Shovels are another weapon that's seen in PvP games such as the survival games, but it's important to note that shovels do 1 heart less damage than axes, so they are utterly the last resort. For example, a diamond shovel does the same amount of damage as a player who has a wooden sword. Don't throw away those wooden tools yet though, because if you have a higher tier weapon to fight with, wooden tools are still useful as they can be used to cook food in furnaces. I will go further into different weapons' damage values in a later episode of the PvP guide, but for health this is as much as you need to know. There are many types of food to be found in PvP. This list shows you just how many hearts each food type restores from highest to lowest, but when considering what food to eat in battle, there are two factors to consider: the chance of being poisoned and the saturation restored by the food. Personally, the only food I have found in survival games that gives the poison effect is raw chicken, but be aware rotten flesh also gives the poison effect. Although raw chicken can give you a poison effect, it shouldn't be ruled out because you only have a 30% chance of being poisoned. Food also restores your saturation level. The saturation level is an invisible bar that depletes before hunger chop is removed. The exhaustion level is a complex subject, so if you want to find out more, head over to the Minecraft wiki. For now, all we need to know is your food saturation level cannot exceed your hunger level, and each type of food gives a different amount of hunger and saturation back. This means each food source that we eat needs to have a high hunger replenishment rate as well as a high saturation replenishment rate, so the best foods for the job are the cooked pork chop and steak, as they give 8 hunger chops back and restore 12.8 saturation. However, if you're about to be chasing an opponent or being chased, then you want to have a food with the highest saturation replenishment rate so you don't lose hunger, and that would be the golden carrot, as it gives back 14.4 saturation. If you're about to go into battle, my recommendation for food would be the golden apple, because although it only gives you 9.6 saturation, the golden apple also regenerates your health for 4 seconds. We can work out how our saturation is going to be used by knowing that 1 hunger chop equals 800 meters walked, 320 blocks broken, 80 meters sprinted, 40 jumps or 20 sprint jumps. This means that you can walk 800 blocks or run 80 blocks before you lose 1 hunger chop. Let's talk about fall damage. You shouldn't fear taking fall damage because you can fall at least 3 blocks without taking damage. Every extra block will cause you to take an additional half a heart of damage. This effectively means you can fall 22 blocks and still have a half a heart of health. Beware though that jumping adds 1.5 blocks to the falling damage, and if you're missing more than 2 hunger chops you will not regenerate health until you eat again or use a regen potion. Hiding underwater can be a good strategy, but you need to remain aware of your oxygen bubbles and manage them well. It can also be helpful to collect items other players have dropped underwater, but you must mind your oxygen bubbles when doing so. Be aware, when you run out of oxygen underwater, you will lose 2 hearts of health a second. Thanks for watching guys, this has been the first episode of the PvP guide, the ultimate guide to Minecraft PvP. So if you enjoyed it, please subscribe and you'll be able to see the next episode, and the next episode when it's available will be on the right of the screen. Thanks for watching.